Hey guys, Card Hour and Trike 415, also known as Troy, back for another episode. Good to be back. We got some cool stuff to talk about today. We're going to be talking about the World Cup qualifiers. We're going to be talking about the soccer market heating up. It's, when we talked about it before, you were like, it was never cold, and it really wasn't, but especially in the content creator world, I think that's worth talking about, the fact that, these mainstream people are talking about how much they're getting into soccer. And then at the end, we have a question from a viewer. Good stuff. Once again, maybe we'll put it at the beginning. If you guys have any questions, comment them down below, and we'd be happy to answer and make it part of a show. And we'd really appreciate it. So with that being said, we'll just get into the World Cup qualifiers. Any games that stand out to you right away?
Yeah, I'm not sure when this is going live, but Belgium plays tonight as the date of recording against Wales.
Nice.
So we get to play Gareth Bale.
In great form lately. Never would have believed it.
Yeah, it's he's been turning. Well, that's the thing they say, right? Like form. What is it? Form is temporary, quality is permanent, something like that.
Class,
I'm not sure.
Class is permanent.
Yeah, that's the one. So he's just a quality player, and it was just a bit of a. I'm not gonna swear this time, but yeah, it was just a mess at Real Madrid. So yeah, for all the other, I think France against the Ukraine is a very interesting one. Ukraine is building a lot in the recent years, and now they got Andrei Shevchenko to manage the team. Everyone basically, I think, knows Andrei Shevchenko of his time when he played. Huge player. And we get to see Holland. He didn't qualify
versus. We worked on this before. Gibraltar. They're playing Gibraltar.
Yeah, so we get to see him play for hopefully a place at the World Cup, not the Euros. Obviously, they didn't qualify, but if they get teams like Gibraltar, I'm pretty confident that they're actually going to qualify. So
it's funny, actually, to get into the nitty gritty of it already. If Norway qualifies for the World Cup, what that will mean for Holland card prices is actually insane. Like, I just feel like the hype and the hysteria will just get out of hand. So if you own any Holland cards, you got to be cheering for them.
I'm not sure if they're going to make it, though, because they're in the group with the Netherlands, Turkey, I'm not sure what's it, Latvia, I think it is.
Latvia,
yeah, Montenegro and Gibraltar, and you need to be in the first two. So the only first two qualify. So
a chance then.
Turkey is a very, very, very good team. They are super under the radar, but they cause trouble to France. They cause trouble to any team they play. They just have that grind to them, and it's not going to be easy for Norway. The Turkish guys are always playing for a longer time together. It's like Belgium. They've been playing together for like the last 10 years or so. And that's the same with Turkey. There's new players coming in, but the core is still there. And with Norway, it's like all new. It's like they have to build again. So I'm not sure.
When I saw Odegaard as their captain, I was like, wow, we are really just starting fresh over there.
Yeah, it's they do have quality players, and it's a bit like PSG. They have names, but that's at this point, that's basically it. They don't really have a connection yet, I would say, because it takes more than 5 games to really like know what you're doing. And it's the downside is of playing for your country is that it's like 5 games and then it disappears for a couple of months, and you go back to your club, and then you play another 3 games, and then 5 months later you play again. So it's not that you're constantly together, which makes it harder. That's why these teams that play 10 years with each other or just used to playing against each other in the competition as well are it's beneficial. And that's what a lot of these mid-table team lack. But it's going to be interesting. I hope they qualify. And what is that going to do to Holland's prices? I mean, how much higher can they go? I mean, obviously they can go a lot higher. But I mean, where does it end? He still hasn't won. I actually had to look it up. How many cups did he win? Did you know? Did you see my video? Did you?
Yeah,
Did you?
he's won. He won a. You said Australian, I believe, in the video, but
I
he's
did.
won an Austrian.
I did
He's
correct
won
it.
an
Yeah.
Austrian Cup. Yeah. I saw that. But it's interesting. I'm not going to get us too off track, so I'm going to ask a question. I'm not even going to let you answer. But with Holland's prices, they've gotten so crazy. Like I have four. I think I have 5 Topps Finest cards coming back from PSA. Hopefully at some point. I have a refractor, got some base, I got a purple refractor, and I have 4 of his stickers over there. And I was thinking like, all right, I might come and, super knock on wood. I don't want to mess with that PSA mojo, but like if I could potentially have a situation where I have, like 10x my return, 20x my return in Holland. And it's just tough because it's like, how do you say no to that kind of profit, especially for someone who, in fairness to you, a point you keep hammering home, which is true, very unproven, no idea where his career is going to go. But then I also think like, what would I do with that money? At least in the sports card world, like who would I rather have that in? You know what I mean? Unless I'm really going to do Ronaldo, Messi, set it and forget it, which is not really what I want to do at this time. But not getting too off track, I actually there's something I wanted to ask you about. We're talking about World Cup qualifiers, but I saw a chart yesterday, and I think it was actually from someone who posted on their sports card Instagram, Belgium betting favorites for the Euros. You would know better than me. Is this true?
Yeah, it was going back and forth between England and Belgium for the longest of time. I have to. I'll bring it up while
because
I'll
what do they call it in the business? I'll vamp here for a second while you look that up. But I was like, no, it's definitely true. Well, I'm not going to say definitely, but I was like, I don't think I would have misremembered it because I remember as soon as I saw it, I was like, I have to talk to Vincent about this. And I was just like, man, because this whole time I feel like maybe it's something about like living in the country, but I've been higher on Belgium than you have. So it's I guess that's just kind of a random little tangent there, but I watched your video as well talking about Belgium's national team.
Yeah, and that's why I'm surprised. Oh, it's changed. Yeah, it changed again to England. It's, as I said, it goes back and forth between England and Belgium, and I think it's more the bookmakers trying to edge whatever is going on, because as soon as money comes in from one side, they have to edge it in another way. That's how bookmakers work. As soon as there's money coming in on one side, they bump the price for another team, so it's more appealing to invest. But I wouldn't. I mean, in 2018, whole Belgium was going, this is it. If 2018 doesn't work, then it's never going to work. That was our moment. Hazard was healthy. Everyone was there. Witsel was there. We had literally anyone and everyone who could play that was included. We had at that time. And now we have no Hazard. Witsel is not going to be there. Hopefully he is, but I'm not sure. Hazard, how is he going to play? And now we have...
Was Company playing back then?
Yeah, we still have Company, I think. I think he was a part of it as well. So if we're not able to win it with that team, I'm not sure how people think we might win it with this team while the other teams also strengthened. Because if you look at England's team, even though they have a bad track record, they have a very solid team. If you look at France, if you look at Germany, Portugal, I would Portugal and France in front of us instead of...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So I don't get the feeling in Belgium at all that we gonna win. It's pretty quiet here because obviously for everything that's going on in the world, I mean, they're even talking about shutting the league down again and stuff like that. So I think
our league just got shut down in the Philippines. We're on lockdown here.
Oh, so yeah, well, they're talking about a complete lockdown in Belgium as well. So it's far from whatever people are thinking about right now. But I do think it's gonna go through. I think there's too much money involved, and I don't see Belgium as a favorite or second favorite at all.
I mean, we'll see. I think about my Tielemans and Thorgan Hazard cards at PSA that are coming back. So, maybe I'll be the only person in the world holding those in PSA graded if Belgium wins. So who knows? Maybe it'll work out for me. But besides from that, I mean, we'll see. We could go back and forth on what Belgium's going to do all day. Neither of us really know. But definitely a team to keep an eye on. Sure. But I think just in general, these qualifiers will be really cool. It's actually coming at a great time, I think, as well, where I think there's probably plenty of people who are kind of getting into the soccer card market. Yep. And this is like, wow, this is, I get to watch England. I get to watch Portugal with all these great players together.
Yeah.
So that'll be good to see. We'll definitely have to follow up on that. But that actually leads me to something I wanted to talk about. And we kind of mentioned it before, but I feel like everyone's talking about soccer now. The market has been hot for a little bit now, but I think definitely in terms of, the birds are chirping once again, the big content creators, they're talking about it. I know you've done a ton of stuff on the Dallas Card Show, but a lot of people's takeaways are like people are asking about soccer. That was kind of one of the trending topics lately.
Yeah, I've talked to a couple of people now, and soccer was definitely a part of the Dallas Card Show. It was very limited though. It was not that people were asking for Kane or whatever. They were, if that's your PC, then obviously, but it's not that people were trying to diversify. It was like what's hot right now, and that was Mbappe and Haaland, I think, and Ronaldo and Messi, which is always the case. But that was what, at least from what I've heard, that was basically the main thing. So those four. So it's gonna take a while before people that are not PCing different players going out and start looking for the Tielemans or whatever. But it's a good sign that at least it's there. And I think we've come a long way since last year March. And as you said, like every time I get a new recommended video, it's about a new guy I've never seen make a YouTube video before talking about soccer. And most of the time,
interesting. I'm not sure if it's just our like formula or whatever algorithm giving it to us, but I see so many more new soccer card creators than I do like basketball card or general stuff. It seems like so many people, they're like, wait a minute, Trike415 and Card Hour are the soccer card YouTubers. Those guys are terrible. We could take them down and then just like get it into the market.
Well, that could be the case. Well,
yeah, hey man, they'd probably be right.
The more the more people that spread the word, the better. I do worry though a bit because if it's already, I feel it's already crowded, and for new people, as you said, new people come into the market and they basically listen to the first thing they hear. And if it's someone who's pretty new talking about the sport, because let's be honest, soccer is far from the biggest sport in the States. And I do worry that, and it's not only about people from the States making content, obviously, because you can have someone from Germany who's pretty, I mean, not very knowledgeable, but I feel like you need to listen to like at least 5 to 10 different people and then kind of create your own vision and do your own research. But I do worry because we saw that last year. Like if you only listen to one guy or 2 channels and the only thing they talk about is Prism, well, yeah. So
yeah, I mean, here's my one concern though, especially with these like a lot of people. I see like their Dallas Card Show pickups, and I'm gonna learn to filter myself a little better because I think I legitimately have burned some bridges at this point. But I see this stuff, and once again, so I'm sorry, I'm not gonna be able to say exactly what they picked up, but I saw the stuff they picked up, and I was just like, no. Like it's not even like debatable. No, like you bought, for instance, someone bought a Prism Mbappe, and you might say like, "Oh no, you should have got the Topps Chrome or the sticker." It was like never, ever gonna work type of deal. Like that's so that's. I mean, we've made this point before, but it's like I really think soccer is different. Like I'm sure in their minds they're like, "Oh, this is a good investment. This is easy stuff." But when I look at it, I'm like, this is literally like the last stuff I'd be buying. As opposed to if you got into basketball and you knew absolutely nothing, who would you buy? Probably like Luka Prism and I don't even know, LaMelo Ball. And even then you'd have like a good shot at it. Or baseball, just, I'm going to buy Tatis. Or football. Like in soccer, it doesn't, like, I don't know. I was just shocked at like some of the stuff that people are buying. And I'm just like, you're you're far off. Like I mean, they'll be fine, these guys, especially these big time guys, but I'm like, you're not going to make money on this. Like, I really think this is going to be a losing exercise for you, the stuff you bought. So I guess that's the interesting thing I noted with some of the stuff that's being bought.
Yeah, with, as you said, with the market being so hot, it's and Aaron said it as well. We've been spoiled. Like for the last 6-7 months, you could have bought basically every single card and still made a profit.
Yeah,
and that's not gonna last. I mean, let's kind of hope it does, but from the other side, it has to come down at some point. Not everything can go up forever. So
that's the tough thing for me right now too. I think, yeah, that wasn't before. We were talking about the Holland cards, but also soccer in general. I actually watched. This is a positivity episode for me, bigging up other content creators. Sports Card Investor, the homie, good video. He talked about like the cyclical nature of, I think it was called like, is the bubble popping? And he was saying like, it has come down, but then he zoomed it out and he's right. It's like, this is literally what always happens. It gets really, really hot and then it goes down a little bit, new floor, really, really hot, cools down. So I guess the point of that was, I feel like how hot soccer is right now, it just always happens that it has to pull back. So that's the only thing I'm concerned about. Like, sure, that new floor will be there, so I'll be fine, but it's just kind of like, it will have to pull back. And then maybe I'll be like, wow, Topps Finest Holland for $1,200 PSA 9. Like, how did I not sell? Like, that should have just been the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah. It's also, there is so much stuff coming. Let's hope the world goes back to normal at some point in the near future. After the Champions League might cool off, after the Euros it might cool off, after the World Cup it might cool off. So there is, I think people are really focusing on something big to happen, but it's these small things, It's like after the Champions League, if you bought, like before the Champions League final, if you bought Lewandowski, it was like $5, like a day or two before the Champions League final, and a day or two after the Champions League final, it was like 100. If you bought in at that point and it dropped back to 20, then obviously you lost a lot of money. Well, if you bought in bulk, you lost a lot of money. And it's those type of things that can cause people to just permanently leave,
Yeah.
I think people are too focused on something big to happen with the entire market dropping. And it's smaller than that, I feel like. So
and I think that new floor thing is like totally legitimate as well. Like, it's funny, I bought these De Bruyne Prism 2016s and these Foden optics, and like kind of near the peak, like during the summer. Well, actually, it's another lesson. I was trying to catch the falling knife, and I was like, oh, they've lost 25%. This is a great opportunity to buy. And then they went down maybe another 50%. And I was like, oh man, I made such a mistake. Those cards are now above where, like, probably where they were even at their peak in August. Definitely for Foden, I think I can say that. So it's just interesting. It's a tough time, but also at the same time, and once again, it goes into my same predicament I kind of had with Holland. I believe in the soccer card market so much that it's like, am I really going to take my money out and go all in on basketball, or try baseball or something like that? It's just it's just tough because I feel like it still has the most growth potential out of anything.
Well, just remember, we're only a year in.
Yeah.
So it's easy to already try to look for other things because it went up so much so fast. Like, even Ronaldo. Well, you know it better than anyone. You just bought a Ronaldo rookie and a Messi rookie. So and that feels expensive, but it's still nothing compared to other sports. So
and it's tough. That's the other thing too, is like the math is so tough on it. Like with the pop counts and everything. Like, I think about like one of the things I just bought. I've been doing my little pumping. I bought Ronaldo Topps Chrome 2017 refractor, and I think honestly part of that was me seeing like LeBron James second and third year refractors, insane money, insane. Like in some cases, like 10,000. So I was like, okay, for $250 here, I'll take a little punt on Ronaldo. And then it's like, well, the Ronaldo pop count is obviously much lower and it's first year Topps Chrome, which is kind of like first year Prism in basketball. But then there's obviously way more basketball fans, but then soccer might, it's just like, no one knows. I mean, I guess that's what we've said this whole time, but even trying to compare certain things, like it's all guesses at the end of the day. And I guess, I don't know, it's just a tough position right now with how hot the market is.
Yeah, again, it's a new market. Like we have not even seen a full cycle in Euros, in World Cup. Like we have no idea what's going to happen. And again, it's going to be hard to really pinpoint what's actually happening, because we have all these different elements coming into play again. We have the pandemic, we have people getting stimulus checks, we have basically everything that's going on. So it's hard to really pinpoint, like, this is what caused this spike, or this is what caused this downfall. Like we have no idea. And that's the hardest thing about the spike last time, like when it boomed or started booming in March or April. Like there were so many different things going on, and it was like a perfect mix of whatever it was. So now again, you guys had the stimulus check, but now you also have the stimulus check. So but then again, you had then other different things going on. So it's hard to say now the market is going up just because of these stimulus checks. So it's a bit hard to really narrow it down, but we have to see. I hope it's going to go as we think it will go. But obviously, I mean, we don't know.
It'll be interesting to see. The one thing the advice I give that no one asked for, but I'll give it anyways, is I have had a lot of people, like, because I've been talking about Foden Optic on my channel forever. You're obviously tired of hearing it, but like I've had a lot of people who said, like, oh, I bought it, like that was a great call. While we were, wow, this is my sports card invest. This is my membership group. We were picking them up for $20, and we were. But right now a PSA 10 is legitimately $800. I really think, like, you get a 10 back from PSA, you have like 5 of them, maybe you get one other 10, 3 9s, sell one of those 10s. That's what I'm doing. I guess that's the only advice. And I think actually anyone who's been in this card game or stocks or anything, it's like, take that profit, let some run. But I guess that's kind of like my mindset right now, is like, you need to take a little bit of profit. I think it'd be a mistake to cash out completely. But I think if you take that profit, and then like in that particular situation I just gave, that'll literally cover the rest of the ones you have. And I think at that point, then you just kind of let it ride.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's been the case since the beginning. I think it's hard to hold these youngsters, because all it takes, look at Fatty, and all it takes is one injury, and he had 3 surgeries. Like, you just,
I guess Foden was a bad example for that particular case. It was more just, to illustrate the point. But you're right, especially in soccer. I've said it before, but I'll say it again because I think it'll just really help people. And sorry for jumping over your point, but it's different than basketball or football, especially in terms of youngsters. Like, these guys get one injury and they go from literally looking like they could actually be the next Messi or Ronaldo to playing in the second division. Like, that happens. That doesn't really happen in other sports.
Yeah, I mean, look at Lingard. Everyone was laughing, and everyone was looking at him as the next TikTok king. And now he's balling it out in West Ham. He's been called up for the English national teams. Like, it's you're like one transfer away of not playing at all or becoming included in the England squad again. So it's and I totally agree on Foden. He looks like he's going to be a very good player for the next 10 years. But so are $50,000. So I agree. You should take some kind of profit, and it's important to take profit because you have to reinvest. You cannot just spend money on Foden and then just wait until something. What happens? I don't know. Just take some money off the table and reinvest in other players, or move up the ladder and try for Ronaldo rookie or a Messi rookie or whatever. Doesn't have to be a rookie straight away. Go for the 2006 card and then go for the rookie or whatever. But just take your money off the table, make money off youngsters and reinvest that into bigger ones, I would say.
I agree 100%. And the last thing I kind of have on this Foden thing is I was watching, like, they were predicting the England starting lineup for, like, I think it was literally for the Euros. And, almost the entire panel or whatever was saying, oh, how can you? There's no way. Foden's too talented. We can't keep him out of the starting 11. And it's funny that literally in the span of 3 months, we went from him not, being like a debate of whether he should be on the bench consistently for Manchester City to there's no way we can keep him out of the starting 11 for England. Like how quickly things change. And once again, knock on wood, I wish him the best, but it could go the opposite direction again,
Yeah, and all it took was a bit of performance in the league, right? Because Foden is the same Foden as 3 months ago. It's just again perception, and it's gonna be interesting with that English lineup, to be honest. But we'll have to see. I'm not sure when they play exactly.
Yeah, I'll have to send you that video though. It was interesting, like going through like it's just tough with Rice and Grealish and Henderson and Mount. It's like the puzzle pieces just don't, and the right backs, the puzzle pieces just don't really fit together well at all. But that's
Turkey Netherlands. Turkey Netherlands, another very good game.
Okay, I'll have to check that out. But that's enough of Man City England TV here. We'll transition to our one question of the day, and we got our nice little boom. There it is. One question from a viewer. And I'm putting you a little bit on the spot here. He asked me, because sealed wax, it's something you have a little bit of boxes, right? Or no?
No, not really. I have the Top Scrum Match Attacks one and the 2004 Euro one. That's it.
Okay. Yeah, it's something I really like. What's happened, and it's easy. Like we knew it. Like those 2010, 2006 boxes, booming. So it's something I've started to think about, and I'm sure someone's yelling at their screen right now, like, "Wow, genius! You're figuring out sealed wax." Yes, I'm late, but so it's interesting. So I pre-ordered my first box, so we'll see. I'm dabbling a little bit. I won't give away what it is quite yet, but I had someone ask me. I think he asked me actually specifically, like, would you buy an Obsidian box to hold? And I was like, no. But I guess that raises, that's a symbol, but it raises a more interesting question. What box would you buy to hold long term? So I'd be interested to get your perspective on that.
I mean, it has to.
Besides Mega Cracks, you gave that answer before. Besides Mega Cracks.
Yeah, Mega Cracks.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have a hard time saying Prism because we have no idea if the market matures, if that people still care about Prism. I mean, a lot of money has been spent on Prism, but as I said, for real soccer fans like myself, I mean, it doesn't mean anything. It's just a brand. It doesn't hold any meaning to the player. So I'm not gonna say Prism. I cannot say any modern set. Then actually,
well, you have
I think about it, I can go for 2006 box, but then. I mean, it is the first World Cup.
But also the tough thing with that is like
I don't know.
My whole issue as well, and I think some things people have done a good job of illustrating as well, is I think that box is at $5,000 right now.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Do you really think it's going to go to 10,000? Like at least maybe over time, but I don't think it'll happen within the next year. At least that would be my prediction.
Well, every time we would have made a prediction, prices not going anywhere close to what they are now, we would be wrong. So,
no, I mean, there's certain things. I guess I just like when something 5 or 6x's like that.
Yeah,
I would say it's, in my experience, it's rare that it just continues roaring like that. You know what I mean? And even though like the other thing too, like there's like GOAT perspective, and why I kind of warn people is like, sure, Kobe went up like 8x, and people were like, but it's Kobe, what's better to hold, and they're right. But also like the thing I always see is like, I'm not going to buy into Kobe right now because it's just not the best use of my money investment wise. And exactly what happened, 50% down. Kobe is 50% down right now. So I guess like, people say like, oh, the GOATs are untouchable, and there's truth to that. But also like when these crazy runs happen, it almost always comes back down, no matter who it is. Michael Jordan. What card is more stable and more desirable than Michael Jordan Fleer? He's getting killed right now. Getting killed right now. So I guess that's my a little bit of concern with 2006.
Okay. I'm gonna go for Top Scrum 2017.
Oh, you stole mine. I was literally looking on eBay and there's
Mm.
none there. Just man, the print run on that is so low. Like, so I just think that like that's the one. That's the
I mean,
one.
it's
Oh.
the same. It's the same. Like we have no idea if Topps Chrome is ever going to be anything. At least for true soccer fans, it doesn't mean anything again. But I
Um,
kind of like Topps Chrome, to be honest. So,
do you know why I believe in it actually? And I think it'll be a thing the more I think about it,
mm-hmm,
is because I think Topps Chrome Champions League
mm-hmm,
solves a lot of the problems of not having true rookies, almost even better than Prism does. Because I was thinking about this year. I'll give it away. Inside scoop. If you've made it to minute 30, you deserve, whatever scoops you can get. I
mm-hmm,
pre-ordered this new Champions League box because it
mm-hmm,
was $600 hobby box. What
mm-hmm,
hobby boxes are $600 anymore? You know what I
mm-hmm,
mean? And there's a bunch of differences, the Fati factor and all these Holland,
mm-hmm,
but the current, not the Sapphire, just the regular Champions League from this year is, I
mm-hmm,
believe, $1,600. So for me, this one's going to be bigger print run. There's no Holland rookie,
mm-hmm,
but I was like, I feel like for me, that's at least an $1,000 box right there,
mm-hmm.
which once again brings me to why I would rather own, potentially a case of that than buying 2006 World Cup, even though that's smarter and more stable, is because it's like, I don't think that's going to double. I don't think that's going to 10,000 as opposed to, I think 20, this newer champions, it could sell for 1,200 easy. So,
Yeah.
but what was the point of that? Oh, what I was saying, when I think about Camavinga,
Mm-hmm,
Bellingham, Makoko, a bunch of these, Pedri. I was like,
mm-hmm,
wow, like that's going to be the card to have, I think, for a lot of these guys, especially for American investors. And I think as it goes forward, like I could see the Chrome. I mean, you see it with Holland and these guys. It's like if it's a yearly release and they put all these guys in, like that's going to be like the product to chase. You know what I mean? Because Prism doesn't
mm-hmm,
come out every year. Like, so to have all those guys in one set, I just think is
mm-hmm.
absolutely huge. And it's going to become like almost, it's like the NBA, like Prism NBA. It's like all the guys are in there. And even though Prism could be at like Prism World Cup, like not everyone will be in there,
Yeah. I I think Topps Chrome Champions League has or is gonna be more important in the future, or not comparing it to anything, but just more important because I feel like now with Haaland, I think people start to realize that chances of him winning something with his country are so small, and that
Yeah.
it's not his fault. There's no 11 Haalands on the pitch. That's not the case. So I think Champions League is going to be become more and more important because I think there's going to be other people like him that are straight up ballers, but they're not going to win anything with their country, and it's not their fault. So I think that therefore, as more and more people join the hobby, I think more and more people are going to realize that Champions League still is the most prestigious club tournament. Like World Cup is the
Yeah.
most prestigious country tournament, national team tournament, and Champions League is club tournament. So I think Champions League is going to get more respect in that regard. I feel like I think that's
Yeah.
my prediction.
And it's just it's totally not data based. It's a
No.
anecdote, I think is how you say it. But like
Mm,
when I think about this new Champions League box that's coming out, like I'm really excited. And I
mm-hmm,
know it's like further down the road, but I think I'm gonna be more excited for this than I will be for Prism World Cup, which
mm-hmm.
might sound kind of crazy to say, but I don't know. It's something about it. So I feel like that's one thing I can kind of see it happening. I think Topps Chrome Champions League is just in general very slept on right now. So
I also
that's
think
where
that
I'd be putting my money.
I also think it's because most of the guys you want to collect or are already super established or hot already have one,
Yeah.
Except for Holland. But I mean, yeah, now I cannot say. I'm gonna say first year Prism Holland. What does that mean? But again, I'm gonna be totally wrong. But I mean, he
Yeah.
already has cards like Ronaldo, Messi has Prism, Neymar has a Prism, Mbappe has a Prism. So I think the upcoming guys are less desirable than we already have. So I think in that, therefore, people might not really want to look to Prism because I mean, do you is a Pedri Prism really what we're waiting for, or Bellingham, is
Yeah.
that really what we're waiting for? So I think Topps Chrome has advantage there as a
Yeah,
Champions League product.
I think if they just do it every year, it's actually
Mm-hmm.
going to devalue the Prism more and more going forward.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just hypothetically, if there was like, I bought a Dembele Prism like a while back, just because I was like, that's kind of like, his rook. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But imagine if he just had like, from that year there in the Champions League, they had like Dembele, Dortmund, Topps Chrome. It'd just be like, yeah, I'd go for that 100%. That's when he was like coming. I don't know. I just feel like it'll mean more, because I've always said, like, when I think of rookies, it's always kind of like the nostalgia factor in a sense. And I think for most of these guys, by the time they have a Prism released, like, they'll already have been established and have a lot of those cards out. You know what I mean? Like, when I think for me, like, when I think of Pedri coming on the scene, I don't think I'm going to be thinking of him at the Euros or the World Cup. I'll be thinking of him at Barcelona. You know what I mean?
Then again, if you have a product that's released every year, and you have something that's only released God knows, then it's the print run is lower, no? Or the chances of you getting, I don't know, if it's a yearly release. Prism, as I said, we have no idea if Prism gonna hold in the soccer card market. Everyone assumes it because it's what happens in other sports and blah blah blah. But we're 1 year in, we have no idea.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Just I won't go too much further with it. But the last thing I'll say is, like, I think everyone's eyes are so laser focused on Topps Chrome, Sapphire, Fati, and Holland that, like, they're not thinking about the other direction. Like, why do we enjoy these so much, and what else will that kind of spread to? So just something to think about. I guess that's kind of where I'll leave it. I'll take this off.
So we both had a 2017 Topps Chrome. That's boring.
Yeah. We great minds think alike, and it's interesting. Like I said, I couldn't even find. I'll have to really dive in, because I couldn't even find any comps. I feel like that's one of those boxes, like, you'll find it in a random, like, local card shop, some guy who just had it sitting there. Like, that's the type of box you could find for $200 somewhere, and then that'll one day be like a $5,000. So I guess that's our little homework assignment. If you live in a little sleepy town, head on down to your LCS. I think you might find yourself a little gold mine there. But that's where we'll leave it. Once again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them down below, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.